You are not important. It's important that you build the systems that the founders can use.
If that's happening, then you feel like, okay, if that's not longer needed, then we are the one who are making the rest slower.
The power is that the founders be empowered by everything you have and can do it themselves. That you're the perfect co-founder, basically.
So once the platform links all the evidence together, I mean, the old story is not defensible anymore.
Adds so much tooling and knowledge to a founder that they basically become unstoppable and can solve that hard problem so much faster with so much more, I would say power and oomph, but also fun, right? Because it's a hard thing. Creating something from nothing is really hard. What we've ended up building is a company memory as your second brain, or whatever you'd like to call it, that's basically looks at all the files you've created, all the stuff you do, and makes the latest version in temporal time of that memory.
But this platform is giving you the answers. It keeps polishing before you can even think of polishing things. So it gives you the answers instead of that you have to look for the answers. It will proactively help you with making the right decisions. Whilst now you maybe make a decision after 3 months, whilst VSI will already help you with doing that before you can even think about it.
The system challenges you about your company memory, meaning that strategically you now said this is what your company is, in product market fit, or this is your ideal customer, but you've been talking to 50 other customers from a different type. You want to change your beliefs on that, or do you want to upgrade that? So very importantly company memory is your go-to source for how your strategic vision is today moving forward. And all the other signals we get from discovery or any other source, those are used to challenge that belief.
So it's really interesting to see that a human perspective is very different from what the data is telling you. So finding the golden sort of balance between those is really important, I think.
So why did the platform need to be more than just a conversational intelligence? We all use our meeting recording tools, right? Your Google Meets, your Granola, whatever you use. Who looks at those? Maybe you look at the to-do sometimes, but the real knowledge never got out of it. So when we're working with this and we're using those conversations to build our actual companies, we just push in all that summary or all of that context to an LM and say, make something out of it. What you really need to do is label all that information to understand what's there. How is that pain defined? How much evidence do we have or confidence that it's actually true? Same goes for competitors. Stuff you just ingest, you need to mine and mint.
We try to do more and more and more on one day, and then in the end, you lose context. So you need to have a platform around you to make sure that it grabs all the context, that even when you're sick and you're not in that certain meeting, that you still get all the context and that you are informed about what happened.
And most importantly and weirdly enough, the conversation itself, the transcript, we never look at it again. So once we get the data out of the transcripts and make a system out of it, it's not as important as you might expect. And what changes there is that you'll log the decision. You'll say, no, this is the market we're going for that reason. Let's follow that route. And basically that realigns everything in the company towards that goal and also keeps track of that. Because if the assumption turned out not to be true, move on to the next one. So there's a lot of proactive stuff, autonomous stuff that can be done now, which couldn't be done, 6 months to a year ago.
If you're thinking of the founders using the platform, they do not longer have to create artifacts. They do not really have to dig deep into their data to gather the right insights and to make sure that everything comes together. So it's about making sure that you have the context. The system will pull all this information in, and then you will get the answers, and then it's up to you on where to make your decision to go next.
You are not important. It's important that you build the systems that the founders can use. You as a person should not be the system.
The platform is compounding information. So if I have a conversation today whilst being on the execution mode on my strategy, the conversation which is coming in today with context, which might change my strategy towards the future, that is already giving signals.
I think most of us think is I hold engineering, design. Right? You have to ask me. The minute they have to ask you to do something because you hold that power, I think that's what most venture builders now get wrong. That's not power. Right? The power is that the founders be empowered by everything you have and can do it themselves. That's the unique position we have. We'll work with 10, 100 founders a year. We've seen all the challenges and struggles. Why are those not in systems? That's the biggest mistake one could make, and it's the hardest because it also is a part of the identity of the venture builder, right? I'm good at engineering, so you should come to me for sure. Add so much tooling and knowledge to a founder that they're basically become unstoppable and can solve that hard problem so much faster with so much more. I would say power and oomph. This makes it a lot more feasible, and also our knowledge now compounds. Right? The studio would be almost singularly value level until some point. Now, if you do this well, everybody can 10x themselves in terms of productivity, and the compounding effect is that will actually make a difference on how people work in Europe and on the globe.